Alright, everybody, welcome back. So I got another knife for you guys from a new company. This is a Dirk Pinkerton design, and this is one of the reasons why this knife kind of fell on my radar. I quite enjoy Dirk Pinkerton's designs very much. So let's talk blades, everybody. That's what we're into. Today I have for you guys Kansept knives. Very interesting box. This box was wrapped in plastic, so I had to get rid of that. It was kind of ugly looking. It wasn't even like a decent presentation. That was, But this is good. This is good. Kansept, spelt Kansept. Weird. All right, so 3.4-inch blade. So yeah, I got another Dirk Pinkerton design that I'm going to put on the table alongside it as a reference to shape and all that and length. So name Main Street, Dirk Pinkerton, black coating, brown micarta, 154 cm steel. So that's really cool. So this will be the first time I've opened this box, and I would like for you guys to experience it with me. That is a very odd thing. All right, so put that off to the side, I guess. And it comes with, I'm assuming this is the reading material. Oh, all right. I don't know what that cloth is for when it's a black coated blade. Kansept knives. So you got your reading material here. Knife use and care. What will Kansept do? Warranty extensions, Kansept warranty information, what is covered. All right, so that's cool. And this is all blank, right? Yeah. All right, so get all this neat stuff right here. I guess it's just standard that comes with the microfiber cloth, which, like I've said before, it's a black coated blade. You just use your shirt to clean that off. It's not like, now if it was satin, I'd understand, but oh cool, you get some tactical silica. We all like tactical silica. Do not, throw away, do not eat. It's all kinds of tactical. All right, so it comes in this really interesting pouch. I've seen videos on it. This is kind of a faux leather strap. It's just Kansept on there. And there's no other closure, it's just that fold over, throw in the loop type thing. Excuse me. Putting this off to the side. Wrapped in plastic. Made in China. Okay. All these made in China stuff. And here's the knife. I actually like that feel. That micarta feel feels really nice, actually. And in a very creepy way, it looks exactly like the picture and exactly like other videos. Because this part's nice and dark. And then this part's all nice and light. So I just find that really odd. Because sometimes when you get micarta, you never know what it's going to look like, because it's always going to be slightly different. But this is, true to its visual appearance and everything that I've seen. And of course, you got open construction. Yeah, that detent's pretty aggressive, but I'm sure it'll work itself in and it won't be as bad. Now you can kind of see the milling in there a little bit. Hold on. All right. You see the milling in there? That's really cool. So it's, weight relief. A little bit of milling up in there. Trying not to... that's a sharp blade. But yeah, so you got a little bit of weight relief, which is great. And of course, you got a little bit in internal jimping, so it's not as aggressive. So you got jimping there, and then you got a little bit of jimping on the spine that seems to be almost like it's not even there. Now this knife really, really reminds me of a Spyderco, the Yojimbo 2. And I think that was a... oh man, I forgot the designer's name on that. I know it's in the back of my head, but it's very much like the Yojimbo too. It's a very self-defense-y, Warncliffe type of thing. And of course, you got the Dirk Pinkerton, his little insignia. And now here's the funny thing. It says Little Main Street. Now, they have the Little Main Street, and it's probably about half the size of this knife. I don't understand why they did that. That's not called the Little Main Street, it's called the Main Street. So I'm sure they'll figure that out at some point in time and fix that, I hope. Otherwise, Little Main Street, okay. And of course, you got the pen cap type of pocket clip there, and that doesn't really bother me as long as it works. That's my thing, as long as it works. But sometimes there's too much space and too much big of a gap right here that it kind of feels loose in the pocket. So I've noticed that it's just kind of a hit and miss with certain companies. They know how to make it right, and then sometimes, depending on like the shape of the handle or how far this sticks out, that it could cause a problem. I prefer deep carry pocket clips. Oh, I just found out. Here we go. There's the other jimping right there. I just touched it and I felt it, so yeah, internal jimping right there in the micarta. So that's really cool. I don't own too many knives with micarta handle scales, but they're nice. I like micarta. It's a really nice material. If it's not G10, it's micarta. The only thing with micarta is over time it starts to pick up, hand oils and whatever, debris and stuff like that, and it can get dirty, but apparently it's easy to clean. You just got to remove the scales, do a little bit of scrubby scrub with a little bit of Dawn soap. At least from my experience, couple of knives that I have, a couple of fixed blade knives that I have, easier to clean, micarta handle scales. You just remove them and put them under a little bit of water, and they clean up real nicely. But that's the thing about micarta. The downside, the down part about micarta, at least for me, anyways, is the cleanup. You shouldn't have to do that, and most people, they don't. They just keep the micarta handle scales on there, and it's not about appearance; it's about function. If it works, it works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it type attitude. If it doesn't need to be cleaned up, even though it's dirty, maybe you don't need to clean it up, because then you're gonna have to do it again and again and again. That sort of thing. Anyways. So this runs on bearings, as far as what I was told. That's why this thing is ultra smooth while flicking it open. And that Warncliffe blade, I gotta tell you, I'm not a huge fan of. But as far as the Spyderco Yojimbo goes, I think the same thing applies to Dirk Pinkerton's design. It's intended for self-defense, but you can use it for whatever you want to as far as EDC goes. The power of the cut goes through the entire edge of the blade, as with a curved blade you only going to use so much of edge because it's in a different shape. This helps you use the entire edge while applying a cut or a slice or even a stab, which from what I was told, that when you stab, you never stab straight, and if you do, I mean, that's good, but sometimes you're not as straight as you think you are. So in reality, you stab at a little bit of an angle, which this helps. When the blade is kind of shaped at a slight bit of an angle, you're going to stab at slight bit of an angle. You might hit dead center. But that's what I was told. There's a guy that I know that collects Warncliffe knives specifically. This is probably my second or third Warncliffe that I actually have. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Warncliffes, only because they don't really look like normal knives to me. They look really, that sheep's foot kind of thing. It's not really my style, but because it's a Dirk Pinkerton design, I really do like it. And I like the Yojimbo, so I figured, why not? This is cheaper than the Yojimbo. So, I don't know. Liner lock design. It's easy to get to. I really appreciate that about this knife. Another thing that I like that I thought I'd never see is the thumb studs. I don't think I've ever seen this original kind of thumb stud on a knife in a while now. I've only seen flippers, flipper tabs or wave openers. the occasional thumb stud that acts as a stop pin, but I think it's been a little bit of a while since I've actually picked up a knife that actually has traditional thumb studs like this one. So this is kind of a throwback to an original, and I really do appreciate that. So everything, all the hardware is Torx from what I can see, so if you need to do any type of tweaking, and I do like that black on brown look. It actually looks really good. It matches it, and it doesn't do it in a way that's obnoxious. So I really do like that. We'll go ahead and get into the specs of everything so we know what we're dealing with here. I'm going to put this, for now, up against an already Dirk Pinkerton design, which is the Arroyo. And I've been carrying this for a few days. Or I shouldn't say that. I've been carrying it for a couple weeks, actually. And you can tell on the Micarta it's been picking up wear. And I kind of like that. It gives the knife character. So here it is up against there. Apparently it's the same blade length. Or roundabout anyways. We'll get into the weight of it first. I'm going to put this off to the side for a sec. So this is a very interesting knife. Comes in at a very light 3.91 ounces, so barely 4 ounces. That is a good thing. That is a very good thing. Nice and lightweight. You know, I usually keep things around about the 5 ounce mark. That's just how I like to do things. But that's just me. And because it's thumb studs, it's going to be a little bit weird to get used to that, because flipper tab. You already know where to put your finger there. You just, all right, back of the spine, boom, you pop it open. And now the thing that's becoming like a more wider range of popularity is the front flipper, which I'm not a huge fan of. Things are already awkward as it is. Why do you have to make it? I mean, it's just cool to some people, but I don't really care much for the front flipper thing. I'm not a huge fan of it. Okay, so you're looking at overall, I think I'm giving it way too much. Okay. 3 3/8 cutting edge, as far as I can see, with a reach of 3.5 inches, right behind the pivot, because you're not going to be able to really choke up right at the pivot. Excuse me. You're not going to really choke up on this knife. You don't have a choil for that. So as long as you're holding it properly, you have that 3.5 inch reach, which is good. In the pocket, you are looking at 4.5 inches, right? Yeah, 4.5 inches. So that's good. And of course, I'm going to bust out the calipers so we know how wide things are. So 1.5 on the blade, 10.1 on the handle. Not bad, not bad. So the Main Street. I love self-defense knives, and I love self-defense based blades. I really do. It started off with katanas, and I still have yet to show any of those on my channel, but I'm going to. It's just all in how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to be too happy to show my face. I'm probably going to cover it, but it will happen. I'm gonna have to find a way, because I can't obviously show it like this. I mean, I could, but then I'd have to do segments of it. Like, here's the blade, here's the Suba, here's the Suka, here's the, and I'm going to have to go bam, 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 every single time, which I could do, but you won't be able to see it as a whole unless I back out the camera somehow. So I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out, but you guys will see all of my blades, and you guys will see the ones that are on loan to me by others. So my channel is going to keep on having some content one way or another. So anyways, I digress. The Main Street. Why carry a self-defense knife on you? Well, the basis is I always had an interest in self-defense anything and everything. So my roots kind of go into that. And my first knife that I ever got was a work knife, and it was nothing like this. But it was always like, hey, if you're walking around someplace, it's good to carry a knife on you, just in case you ever need it to, defend yourself. And as a kid, that's great, because you can't walk around with anything else, So that's how it all started. But like I said, I am going off topic here. Kansept knives. This is the very first and probably the only Kansept knife I'm going to purchase. There's one other one that's caught my attention, but I don't know if I really want to pull the trigger on that one because it's a front flipper. And it's supposed to be a design from, it's like an Oriental type inspired Tonto type knife. So try to stick with a more modern type of self-defensey type of thing, and that's this right here. So the Wharncliffe, like I said, this knife very, very, very much reminds me of the Spyderco Yojimbo 2. And the only difference is, obviously, there's no spider hole here. There's thumb studs. And the place where you rest your thumb on the back of the spine is nice and flat, so you can actually get to it without having to press any deeper, because the Yojimbo has like this weird kind of dip you would have to put your thumb in. And that was comfortable, but I can feel like this actually sits a little bit more natural. On the Yojimbo, it kind of sits a little thicker, so your hand's a little bit more kind of recessed, but everything's locked in place. This feels just about the same. I can still use this for EDC tasks. The only thing that I advise if you decide to purchase this knife is not to pry with that tip. That is a very fine tip, and I think that's the only thing that I really don't care too much about Wharncliffes, is that their tip is a bit on the fragile side. I've seen one of my buddies snap the tip on his Yojimbo, all because he was trying to show off, and he was trying to show me, like, you can pry with the tip like this. And he went to a can of fruit, and he was doing his thing, and I was cringing the entire time. He was just destroying this knife, and all of a sudden you hear, and I'm like, bro, did that just... And he pulled the knife out, and sure enough, he lost about that much tip. That was a huge amount, and I was actually surprised. I don't know how that happened. I thought with the blade steel it would bend first, and it probably did. He was probably abusing it to the point where it was already kind of on its last mend before it broke. So I don't know. It was just, it made me grit my teeth. And oh man, when a skateboarder kind of loses his board and he falls in between, you know what I mean? Like his legs just give out and crotch shot with the pole. That's exactly what it felt like. Just me going, oh no, you just broke the tip on that knife. Oh no. And I like watching Forged and Fired because it makes me cringe every single time that they, do a destructive test on the knife by chopping it through ice and, just throwing it at, like, cutting through ceramic items, and just, I'm sitting here like, oh God. But, those knives weren't made to be used or babied. Those knives were made to be used for the show. So they were intended to be built and destroyed. So, I don't know. It was really cool to see that, but also really, really nerve-wracking to find that he broke the tip on a Yojimbo. Oh my gosh, man. So, like a smart guy he was, he went ahead and ground it down into, like, this weird kind of modified... it just looks really stupid. Anyways, he's been asking me for my Yojimbo, and I basically told him to go and do something constructive with his time other than bothering me about it. I was going to say something witty, but I don't think it was going to be YouTube appropriate. Anyways, blade steel on this knife is 154 cm. I'm okay with 154 cm. I'm fine with that. It's good steel. It's better, than any of the other cheaper steels, but that's fine. Black coated. Someone said that this knife is a little bit reflective. It is. I can tell. It's not that bad, but it works. It works. It's still a black blade, so it's going to be less reflective than a satin blade, so it'll work. Another thing is, when they labeled this knife, they didn't put Wharncliffe. They said reverse Tonto. So I'm not entirely sure what that is. I guess this kind of looks like a Tonto. If I were to hold it like this, maybe. Sure, but I don't know. Reverse Tonto. That's a little bit odd. I've never heard that term phrased for a Wharncliffe knife before, but I'll take it. That's fine. So I guess I'm going to carry this for a bit and see how it fares in my pocket. Of course, I would have enjoyed more of a deep carry type thing, but it's not going to be too bad. It's not going to have too much sticking out from the pocket. So 1 second, I'm going to bust out the paper real quick before I end the video because I'm already hitting 20 minutes. All right, so let's see how deep it fits in the pocket. Yeah, that's pretty decent. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. I was expecting it to be, you know, sticking out a little bit more than that. No, that's pretty good. And of course, for your viewing pleasure, if I can get it open, I got to get used to the thumb stud now. I'm so used to flippers. Let's see how sharp it is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's really sharp. That is really sharp. Oh, if I can get it to catch the paper would be nice, right? Yeah, this thing is super sharp. You know what I think I need? Phone book paper. Look at that. That is really, really good. Well, anyways, I like it. I'm going to carry it nice and light. Feels durable. I like Kansept knives. All right. And of course, this is supposed to be OD green. Now that I have it up against this brown, it actually does look a little bit more OD green now. But by itself, it looks kind of brownish grayish. I don't know. My eyes are funky. Anyways, that's the main street, not the little main street, so try not to get that confused. Great knife. I'm going to like it, I'm sure. Go ahead and slash that like button, stab that subscribe, slice that bell icon so you guys are notified every time I post new stuff. And in these craziest of times, everybody, please be kind, be safe, carry responsibly, and I will see you all good people in the next video.